up in a tie like we did 2 years ago. It is a game that the Bobcats on paper probably have more depth, maybe a little more speed. But it's really hard to get a handle on these two teams, Randy. We think Warren had a pretty good football team, and it certainly looked that Ashdown had a most improved football team. So tonight I expect a really exciting game. I especially expect a high-scoring game with if the mistakes are at a minimum for both teams. So I'm looking for a dogfight as always. These rivalries are fun. They're supposed to be fun, and everybody in both towns looks forward to this Hope-Prescott game each year, second game on the schedule.
Well, one thing people have learned in this rivalry, do throw out what you expect to happen in this game. There should be a high-scoring affair. If you watch last week's games, both Hope and Warren and Prescott and Ashdown, both teams have great skilled position players. Al Johnston, the quarterback for Prescott, is an outstanding player, a great quarterback, showed his skills numerous times last week. He's a great executioner of the offense of the Prescott Curly Wolves. Also, the Bobcats have an outstanding wide receiver in Corey Muldrew, and they'll be trying to get the ball to him. The Bobcats have a lot of speed at the at skilled positions. Then the Curly Wolves, Carlos Van Hook, running back, probably one of the best running backs in the state. Good wide receivers in Jason Morrow and Mike Fountain, and also for the Curly Wolves, an outstanding kicking game with Mike Fountain, who is capable of kicking field goals.
As always, an outstanding kicking game with the Prescott Curly Wolves. Now, the Bobcats, in turn, that's always been a little sore spot for Coach Kell, and he admittedly will tell you so. But in this game, as you said, may come down to, throw out what you think it's going to be. It may come down to a field goal contest. We don't know, but what we do know is both teams, with this being the rivalry that it's always been, will step up their play a level. It will be a hard-fought contest, and if both teams keep their mistakes to a minimum, as we always talk about in football, that the team that makes the fewest mistakes will probably win the football game. That will certainly hold true tonight.
Well, all the indications are both towns are ready. Coming on the field at Hammond Stadium as we start this great rivalry in Southwest Arkansas, Curly Wolves versus Bobcats. And the Curly Wolves will be in the white jerseys, maroon pants, maroon helmets, and they're pumped up, as you can see, under first-year head coach David Bennett.
Well, you know, obviously we should mention this being the first Prescott rivalry without Eddie Jackson here, but Coach David Bennett came in from Murfreesboro, installed his system, and his players played real well offensively last week against Ashdown. Admittedly, he thought they could have done a better job on defense, and Coach Kell, as you see the Bobcats coming onto the field, thought that his players put forth a good effort, just made too many mistakes against a fine Warren football team. But you see tonight, the Bobcats and the Curly Wolves, neither one will be accused of coming out flat, and these kids, it's a big game to these kids and coaches, and they'll start this game with plenty of fire.
Yeah, you know, you talk about Coach Jackson, and he really brought this rivalry back 23 years ago and played Hope even throughout those years, and I think it'll be played evenly from now on as Coach Bennett has got his troops in good shape. A great offensive machine over there. Both teams come into tonight's game with some questions on the line, and that's where we'll see what kind of improvements been made early here in the season.
Well, you know, I can just tell you from watching the Prescott teams of the past, it was a team that always plays outstanding defense, had a very solid kicking game, and moved the ball well on offense, especially the last couple of years there with great talent. Now, they lost some good football players, but there are some very good football players remaining on this team, headed up by their leader, quarterback Al Johnston.
Well, Carlos Van Hook, the all-purpose running back, defensive back, and kicker for Prescott, gets ready to kick it off. A low squibbling kick will be fielded by Pace at the 30. And keeps on his feet to the 36. Bobcats will take over there, 1st and 10.
Well, kind of a nice catch by Dietrich Pace to get the ball back to good field position for the Bobcats. Looks like they're going to spot it on about the 37-yard line. So as we get into the beginning of this football game, we'll go back to what it always takes to win against a good team, and that is keep your mistakes to a minimum and control the line of scrimmage. And the team that does that will come out on top tonight.
Bobcats come up to the line of scrimmage. Senior Courtney Cole, 19, is the quarterback. To the right is D. Bright, 25. In the backfield, Sarles, 41, and Steve Edwards, 22. He gets the handoff at the 40 to the 45-yard line. Tackled there by number 57, Ryan Ellis.
Good job by Brent Carpenter there and Devin Walker, along with Rusty Beck, opening up a nice hole there for Steve Edwards.
Along that defensive line for Prescott, number 57, Ryan Ellis, 43, Jared Yates, 75, Brett Wicker, and 74, Jared Miller. Bobcats send Bright to the right side. Unbalanced line right. Handoff again to Edwards across midfield. 1st and 10, Bobcats.
Again, good surge there by the Bobcat offensive line. You saw Jared Yates in there tripping up Edwards, but Steve Edwards able to pick up a first down as the Bobcats have the football just across the midfield stripe.
Bobcats have disguised their all-state wide receiver so far, Corey Muldrew, number 80. 1st and 10, Cats. Muldrew lines up tight. Bright goes wide left. Unbalanced line to the right side with Ramsey, the tight end, 15. Pitch to Edwards along the left side to the 44, gain of 6. And the Bobcats getting good running room. He was stopped there by Justin Jernigan.
Well, nice job by that left side of the line over there as Steve Edwards running with authority tonight. And Bobcats pick up about 6 yards on the play.
2nd down and 4 for the Cats in Curly Wolf territory at the 44. Rusty Beck, the senior center, brings the Cats up to the line of scrimmage again. Bright, wide right, unbalanced line right. Pitch to Edwards again along the right side. Edwards cuts out at the 40, 35, 30. Knocked out of bounds there by Jeremy Morrow at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, we got a Bobcat down there, Randy. Eric Turner, the offensive tackle for the Cats, is down holding his knee. So we see the coaching staff coming out to check on Eric Turner, but just a good job of Steve Edwards using his speed on that play to outrun a Curly Wolf tackler. And so the Bobcats moving the football here early on.
Line coach Jay Malone hates to see that young man, the junior, number 72, Eric Turner, down. The Bobcats not very deep in the offensive line.
No, and it is a young offensive line. You know, Rusty Beck, Ryan Walker are the only returning starters on that offensive line. The rest of it is manned by juniors, and so a relatively young offensive line for the Bobcats.
Coming in to replace Turner will be junior defensive tackle starter Mike Christian. Ryan Walker, number 53, is back this week. He missed the Warren game with a muscle problem, but back at full speed this week, and Turner comes off, and hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, obviously it's either an ankle or a knee, but Eric Turner not able to put any weight on that right leg. So certainly we want to wish that Eric Turner not hurt badly.
Bobcats have it 1st and 10 at the 27, as it's been all Steve Edwards here on this drive with 10:32 left in the first quarter of play. And the Bobcats again show that unbalanced line. Well, they're straight line this time. Ramsey's the tight end, but Muldrew is also lining up as the tight end on the left side. No, it is an unbalanced line to the right. Bright is split right. Handoff on a counter to Sarles, gets about 3 yards there, across the 25 down to about the 24-yard line.
Well, first carry tonight for Jared Sarles, able to pick up about 3, almost 4 on the play.
Jared Miller on the tackle along with Jared Yates, those big defensive tackles for the Curly Wolves. 2nd down and 7 for the Cats at the 24 of the Curly Wolves. Cats again go to the right side. Bright is split right. Courtney Cole fakes and goes on a bootleg to the left side. Good speed along the left side. tight ropes his way down to the 5-yard line. 1st and 10, Bobcats.
And we talked last week at Warren, Randy, that we felt like that was going to be a nice play for the Bobcats this year because Courtney Cole is extremely quick and probably the quickest quarterback, especially on the rollouts and options that we've had in quite a while. So a nice play there. Courtney using his speed and picking up a big first down and putting the ball back on about inside the 5-yard line at the 4.
1st and goal at the Curly Wolf 4 for the Bobcats early in this ball game. 9:50 left in the first quarter. The Bobcats have had possession since the opening kickoff. Muldrew now tight right. Ramsey is on the tight end left. Billy Roberts comes in as the power back to the right, number 32. Pitch to Edwards. He slices through for a couple of yards. He's stopped there by the Curly Wolves, and that's Jared Miller.
Yeah, that moved the ball down to about, looks, well, mark the spot, chain, 2-yard line. So Bobcats with a 2nd and goal with the football on the 2.
Courtney Cole, number 19, the Bobcat quarterback. 2nd and goal for the Cats. Ramsey's the tight end to the right side. Muldrew still tight on the left. Power I right formation. Handoff to Edwards. He leaps in for the touchdown from 2 yards out with 9:08 left in the first quarter of play. The Bobcats have struck blood first here with a 6-0 lead.
Well, the Bobcats did move the football down the field just primarily with Steve Edwards and Courtney Cole running the offense. And but I must caution you that the ball game last week, Prescott gave up quite a few points, but they turned around and scored 35 themselves. So I think Prescott certainly anxious to get their offense on the football field.
Colin Pilkington will attempt the point after. Chad Markham to hold. Kicks up, and it's blocked there nicely by Al Johnston for the Curly Wolves. So the Bobcats will take over, will kick it with 9:08 left in the first quarter of play. It's Hope 6, Prescott 0. We'll be back after this. Not fielded, but gets out of bounds at the 20, and there's a flag thrown, and the Curly Wolves will have good field position as the kick is kicked out of bounds.
Yeah, just not a good kick at all there by Jelani. Just kind of spun it and rolled out of bounds. So Prescott will benefit by that penalty. And so the Curly Wolf offense, you know, the defense did give up some yardage in chunks there, but the offense of Prescott, as we all know, Al Johnson, an excellent passer, and they certainly have some fine receivers to go along with that passer. And Carlos Van Hook, one of the toughest runners the Bobcats will face all year.
Well, the Bobcats defense will be tested here. Their defensive backs weren't tested at all against Warren, as there was only one pass attempted. Forget that. Al Johnson's going in the air. Sends a man wide left. That was bouncing, handoff to the big fullback, and that's Carlos Van Hook, met there by a host of Cats.
Good play by Michael Christian, shucked his blocker, and right there in the hole, made a good form tackle, wrapped him up, and Carlos Van Hook able to pick up about a yard on the play.
Johnston and Morrow come in. Jason Morrow for the Curly Wolves. He goes wide right, split left to Fountain. Hand off again to Van Hook. He's tripped up in the backfield and gains only a yard or so. Tripped up there by Jeff High.
Good penetration by Jeff High, defensive tackle of the Bobcats. Prescott able to pick up another yard or so. So brings up 3rd and about 8, and you could probably expect some type of pass by the Curly Wolves.
3rd and 8, 8:09 left in the first quarter of play. Hope 6, Prescott 0. Johnston sends Morrow and Douglas Flanoy to the right side. I formation. Yates, the fullback. Dropping back is Johnston, looking and overthrows Flanoy, number 1, at midfield.
Well, Flanoy had put himself in the open, and Al either misfired on that, or Flanoy just didn't get to the spot Al thought he was going to be. So Prescott faced with the first punting opportunity of the night.
And on 4th down, Jared Yates will go back to punt for the Curly Wolves. Back deep for the Cats, number 80 is Corey Muldrew, 22, Steve Edwards. Nice snap fielded by Yates, and a low punt. Muldrew tips it at the 28, looking for room around the right side, and one man trips him up at the 46-yard line. The Bobcats have good field position at their own 46.
Corey is so elusive. You know, he's a tall guy. He's about almost 6'3", and you know, he just doesn't look like he's going that fast, and then he just puts some moves. He does a wonderful job of fending tacklers off with his arms when he tries to dodge him. So nice return by Corey Muldrew.
Jeremy Morrow, the injured Curly Wolf, being helped off the field again. Looks like a knee or ankle. Bobcats now send Muldrew out on this second possession for the first time wide right. To the left is Bright. I formation. Pitch to Edwards, and we'll see what the infraction is.
Well, don't think it was the time. Might have had someone lined up offside.
Illegal procedure on the Cats, and it'll be 1st and 15. The Bobcats will start at their own 41.
That's one of those little mistakes that's easily prevented, just everybody being on the same page, and so the Bobcats 1st and 15.
Corey Muldrew, number 80, goes wide right, as does D. Bright. Slot left. I formation. Blitz by the Curly Wolves, and Edwards beats it at midfield and runs out of bounds. They'll mark it at maybe into Curly Wolf territory at the 49. No, they'll mark it right at midfield.
The Bobcats were able to catch the Curly Wolves in a blitz, and Steve did get past the initial line of scrimmage, able to pick up about 10 on the play.
2nd down and 6 for the Bobcats. After starting at 1st and 15, Muldrew and Bright go to the far side. Sarles, 41's the fullback. Edwards the tailback. Cole drops back, rushed, but gets it off to Muldrew. Just can't get it as he reached for it in 1st down territory, but it'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Corey was open, and Courtney just did basically the same thing that Al Johnston did with his receiver earlier, just kind of laid it too far out there. So Bobcats be faced with a 3rd and 6.
Good pressure by the Prescott defense. Jared Yates and Brett Wicker there bring up 3rd and 6. Bobcats show that unbalanced line to the right side. Bright goes wide left. Muldrew is tight to the left. Hand off to Edwards. He's met hard by Wicker, and gain of a couple, but Wicker met him hard at the line of scrimmage, bring up 4th down and 3 for the Cats.
Nice play by Brett Wicker there to put a nice tackle on Steve Edwards, and so Prescott able to put the Bobcats into a punting situation.
6:58 clock running left this first quarter of play. Hope 6, Prescott 0. And for the Cats, back to punt, number 74, Jason Patton. Patton wore a different number last week, 61, and 74 is his number tonight. Back deep is Flannery. Patton, a left-handed punter, gets a nice hang time on it. Flannery catches it right in a group of Cats, and a flag is thrown on a late hit by the Bobcats, and that'll cost the Cats, as Prescott will have great field position after the return by Flannery.
Yep, just an unnecessary. Man was already down, and certainly unnecessary. Trying to see who was down there originally to make that tackle. Did you catch it? I didn't catch who made the tackle, but good coverage by the Bobcats, and late hit is going to tack extra yardage on to this Prescott possession.
Flags everywhere, even one back on midfield. So the Bobcat defense again will be tested by the Curly Wolves as the referees talk about this, having a pretty major discussion down there. And we'll see what the call is. An illegal clip by the Cats, also personal foul on the Curly Wolves. Personal foul on the Cats. So 2 infractions against the Bobcats. And Captain Al Johnston either talking to the referees, and I think that's what he's doing, and seeing what his options are here with 6:29 left in the first quarter.
Well, you go back to that little 5-yard mistake there, probably cost the Bobcats a 1st down, and so another mistake here on the kicking game will give Prescott much better field position.
will just be a determination of where they're going to mark it and how much yardage against the Cats. And trying to get some assistance from Coach Bennett and his staff. David Bennett in his first year at the Curly Wolf helm.
And, you know, I will say this about David Bennett. You know, he's coming in and trying to start his own program and his own identity. Tough job to follow with Eddie Jackson, but he seems like a nice young guy, and I think certainly had a lot of success with his Murfreesboro ball club. So getting his first taste of action in this Prescott-Hope rivalry.
The referees will go back to the original line of scrimmage where the Bobcats punted, and they'll mark off the infraction back to the, well, that's a 30-yard penalty. My goodness. That's a 30-yard penalty against the Cats.
Excuse me. And Bobcats will have to punt again. And certainly Prescott's going to end up with outstanding field position unless Patton can get off just a kick of his life here.
Well, let's see. That was back to the 23 from the 48 of the Curly Wolves to the 23 of the Bobcats. Now,
apparently they marked off both infractions.
Both infractions. So Patton will again punt for the Cats, the junior, as Flannery is back deep just across midfield for the Curly Wolves. Christian will snap for the Cats. Nice snap, quick snap, nice punt off the left side. Fielded at midfield. Flannery has to jump on it there as the ball's still squirming around. Bobcats say they have it. Let's see who does.
Trying to untangle, big pile there, and
no, they say Prescott has it. As that's why you need to leave it to those referees.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the kids because they're a little bit biased in their opinion. But Prescott did come up with great field position on that penalty by the Bobcats, so be starting the ball just about midfield.
First and 10 at the Curly Wolf 49, and Flannery goes wide right. Fountain to the left. Yates and Van Hook are your running backs. Hand off to Van Hook on the counter. Nice job, but met there hard by Dietrich Pace.
Jeff High. Jacob Jones also in there, and Willie Hyman looked like he also getting up off the bottom of the pile. So about 3.5 yards on the play. Prescott with a second down.
That Prescott offensive line, the center Ryan Ellis, Jared Miller and Shane Mowry are the guards. Doug Young and Brett Wicker are the tackles. Fountain goes to the left side. Flannery to the right side this time. Johnston, your senior quarterback for the Curly Wolves. Looks across to Fountain, got him wide open and drops it in his hands and out. Brings up 3rd and 7 for the Curly Wolves.
And that's unfortunate for Prescott because I was watching Fountain on that play. Put a great move on Chad Lacey and would have picked up nice yardage on the play.
Fountain had an outstanding second half over at Prescott last week against the Panthers from Ashdown. 3rd down and 7. Curly Wolves. Ben Jones goes wide left. Two-man split wide right. Johnston dropping back across the middle. Intercepted by Billy Roberts at the 25. At the 40, Roberts gets across to the 45-yard on 46 where the Bobcats have it 1st and 10.
Good job of playing center field by Billy Roberts, and Al Johnson knows that pass sailed on him, just overthrew it, and so the Bobcats kind of take some of the taint off that penalty and get back the football in great field position themselves.
Well, one part of the Bobcat defense that was not tested last week was their defensive secondary against the pass, and Billy Roberts has been a three-year starter there, and he showed his skills on that last play. Bright and Muldrew to the near side. I formation. Courtney Cole drops back, rolling to the right, looking downfield for Bright, and intercepted by Mike Fountain. Outstanding job by Fountain. Got running room down the near side. and Rusty Beck knocks him out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Just a great play there by Fountain, and Rusty Beck, good hustle there to get him out of bounds because he was the last man or would have had 6 points for the Curly Wolves. Great pickoff by the wide receiver and defensive back, Mike Fountain.
Well, Corey threw it in a crowd there. Fountain was all over him and one other defender to D. Bright. And 1st and 10 for the Curly Wolves in Bobcat territory at the 38. Bobcat defense, big J.D. Sampson in the middle there. Also Mike Christian and Jeff High flank him. Pace is on the right side. Johnston drops back, hit as he throws it, and he'll overthrow Morrow down at the 5-yard line.
Well, it was a well-conceived pass play, and again, Al just had a little too much on him because number 12, Jason Morrow, had his man beaten, but just not quite the timing that Al Johnson wanted on that pass.
You got to like the offensive scheme of the Curly Wolves. David Bennett really has come in here, and when you have to put in a new system like he's done an outstanding job, as they showed in scoring 35 points last week.
Well, they're going to score a lot of points simply because they have some outstanding skilled players.
Going to the left side is Brad Harris, the sophomore. And there's a timeout. Prescott Curly Wolf fans follow them everywhere, and a 15-minute drive down here to Hope is nothing for these great fans to see their Curly Wolves.
You will never see anything but a packed house when Prescott and Hope play football, and the earlier ideas of what a good football game is going to be, we're just getting a taste of it. So a couple of nice plays by both defenses on pass interceptions.
A lot of hard licks passed out here tonight already, folks. A lot of players on the sides. This is a hard-nosed football game. 2nd down and 10 at the 38 of the Cats. In motion, Jones. Play action by Johnston. Throws a nice try down there near the Bobcat sideline. To catch that ball was Jason Morrow.
Good pressure by Jason Patton, Jeff High, Michael Christian, and was a good effort by Morrow. Just laid his body out and almost came up with it. So bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Curly Wolves.
Bobcat defensive line has really put a lot of pressure on Johnston. He's not had a lot of time to throw, and he's hurrying his throws. He's been much sharper than many times we've seen him play.
Well, you can tell he has a strong arm, and I think it's going to be evident that it's more accurate than he's shown tonight.
Fountain to the left. Morrow and Flenoy go wide right. 3rd down and 10. Dropping back is Johnston. Screen pass, hit Morrow. Great tackle by Willie Hyman, the sophomore for the Cats.
Sophomore showed a lot of savvy there, taking up the middle screen there because he really was the only one there, and nice job of making the tackle after he recognized the play.
Ryan Walker checks in for the Bobcats, a senior leader who the Bobcats missed last week, a two-way performer checking in for Jason Patton at that defensive end spot. I just think of Ryan he's the old man of this crew.
Well, he's just a great leader and a great kid, and he's always going to put forth a great effort. He's small, but a very good offensive lineman. 4th down and 11, and the Curly Wolves will go for it. Fountain to the left, Flenoy to the right. Johnston dropping back, being rushed across the middle. Morrow catches it on a tip. Hyman had it, tipped it up in the air, and Morrow catches it and there's a flag thrown as Morrow and the Bobcat defender got into it after the play. Well, I'm going to be anxious to see who that mistake was on, and
well, it'll be costly to whoever it was.
Whoever it's on, it's just a bonehead play. You can't describe it any other way. But there we saw a little bit of that last night in the junior high game. One of the Prescott Curly Cubs tipped it, and the Hope receiver caught it, and that time Willie Hyman, off of his fine play on the screen, tipped it up, and Morrow there to make the reception. Probably the easiest ball he'll catch all night.
Personal foul on the Curly Wolves and the Bobcats, and they'll cancel out each other, and that's a good call. Both players were going at it. Man, I tell you, they're fighting out there.
There was some jawing, but sometimes it can just go one way and be a devastating penalty.
1st and 10, Curly Wolves at the Bobcat 19. Flenoy goes wide right. Fountain to the left. Al Johnston is determined to throw that ball tonight. Hands off to Van Hook, and Jacob Jones tackles him at the line. He falls forward for a gain of 1 or 2.
Excellent play by Jacob Jones. Did a fine job of reading the play and then slicing in there to make that tackle for just about a half-yard gain.
3:35 left in the first quarter. Clock running. Bobcats leading the Curly Wolves 6-0. Curly Wolves driving at the Bobcat 19. Second down and 10 for the Wolves.
A lot of action so far in this first quarter of football, Randy, and just as exciting as we predicted and everybody knew it would be.
Ben Jones brings in the play, and he'll go wide right. Fountain to the left. Morrow slot right, and again, timeout as there's some confusion as the Prescott Curly Wolves call timeout with 3:07 left here in the first. Curly Wolves come up to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10. Morrow goes wide left now. Johnson throws it across middle. Morrow at the 5. Knocked down there, and it'll be a 1st and goal for the Curly Wolves.
That's the move that he put on earlier down here, that he dropped the football. As we see a Bobcat down, maybe, let's see, that's Willie Hyman, I think, on the ground. Looks like number 12.
Yeah, that's
either Willie or, is that Willie or Billy Roberts? No, that's Willie, because I see Billy standing. So Willie Hyman, the sophomore, down on the field.
So Prescott will have an opportunity to regroup. 1st and goal at the Bobcat 5.
Randy, watching these Prescott players run their pass routes, they are crisp and precise. Just no one even close there on that little down and in pattern. And so Prescott has obviously spent a lot of time teaching these receivers to run routes, and they're doing an excellent job of it. And there you saw the precise passing ability of Al Johnson, right in the numbers.
Well, with 3 minutes left in the first quarter of play, I've seen a lot of kids already taken off the field after hard licks, and this is just, again, a hard-nosed football game.
Well, you're exactly right, and Chad Lacey also bunged up on the play, so we're going to lose 2 of our defensive backs there on one play, as Willie Hyman still being attended to on the field, and Chad Lacey already over on the bench getting attended to.
Yeah, you see 24 Chad being talked to by the trainers and seeing what's wrong with him. Again, even though a cool night, a humid night, and it'll take its toll in this game.
Well, they're just hard licks going on out there right now, and as we mentioned earlier in the game, the players will play at a higher level because this is such an intense rivalry and a lot of fun, and everybody wants to do their best, as we see Willie being carried off the field, and looks like he has a significant problem as Jeff Haynes and Coach Turner bring Willie Hyman off the field.
So the Curly Wolves will be 1st and goal deep in Bobcat territory at the 5. Johnston sends Fountain to the left, Morrow and Flanoy to the right, Van Hook and Yates are your running backs. 1st and goal for the Curly Wolves. Johnston looking, flush, touchdown in the end zone to Jason Morrow. 5-yard touchdown pass from Al Johnston to Jason Morrow with 2:50 left in this first quarter of play. Ties the score at 6. And Mike Fountain will attempt the point after to put Prescott in the lead.
Well, someone in that secondary just got confused, because you just cannot leave Jason Morrow all alone on the football field, and that's exactly what happened as Prescott brings her fine.
Andrew Fellows, a sophomore.
Jeff Marr is an old hand at these Prescott Hope games. Just caught the touchdown pass and made the tackle on the kickoff, and so Prescott with a lot of fire and coming out after that touchdown, and so the Bobcats will need to go out and reestablish the line of scrimmage.
Ball marked at the 28 of the Cats, where they'll start their 3rd possession of the game. Now Muldrew goes wide left. To the right side is D. Bright. The Bobcat offensive line gets set. Pitch to Steve Edwards. Edwards breaks off a few Curly Wolf tacklers and gets to the 35, a gain of 6.
Well, you're right. He did that, Randy, and the Curly Wolves had him stopped for just a short game. But as we talked about last week, Steve Edwards is a deceptively strong runner and runs very tough, and broke some tackles there and picked up about 7 on the play.
2nd down and 3 for the Cats. Mark it at the Bobcat 35-yard line. Rusty Beck brings the Bobcat offensive line up to the line of scrimmage. Bright goes wide right. To the near side comes Corey Muldrew. On a keeper, Cole goes nowhere. Drop for a loss by Jason Morrow and Carlos Van Hook.
Jason Morrow just all over this football field, Randy, and just no room there for Courtney Cole to do anything with. And so the Bobcats be faced with a 3rd and 4.
3rd down, 4 for the Cats. Minute 38, clock running left in this first quarter of play. Prescott leading the Cats here at Hammond Stadium, 7-6.
Coach Kell giving Courtney Cole, the Bobcat quarterback, the play as the Bobcats come out and try to convert this 3rd down.
5 seconds on the play clock. I don't know if the Cats will get it off, and Courtney Cole will take a timeout on the critical 3rd and 4 play. And so a wise decision by the senior quarterback Cole to take the timeout rather than get the 5-yard penalty.
No question about that, just a have to. And so the Bobcats, Coach Kell has his Bobcats over there in the huddle, and so try to get it across, execute, hold your blocks, whatever the play is, everybody do their job and convert this 3rd down. On the Prescott side, the coaches over there impressing on their players that go all out, keep your responsibilities, and try to force a punt. So it's a pivotal play early on, even though we still have a minute 15 left in this first quarter.
Yeah, and a long game. It could be a long game tonight, folks.
It could be a long game, and as you see, there's not going to be any lack of action. Been a wonderful first quarter from a fan standpoint.
Oh, it has been a really great game to watch so far. Muldrew now goes wide left, and you have Bright, number 25, to the right side. Muldrew's dangerous over there on 3rd and 4. You hear the Bobcat Super Band in the background chanting on for the Cats. Cole throws long to Muldrew. Oh, just drops it at the 30. Almost had it. Great defense work down there by Ben Jones.
Well, that was good coverage by Ben Jones, and Corey Muldrew has caught a ton of those, and Ben Jones just able to distract him for just a second, and the Bobcats will be forced to punt after the long pass to Corey Muldrew, incomplete.
Jason Patton will do the punting for the Cats on 4th down and 4. Ball's at the Bobcat 35. Michael Christian will do the deep snapping. Good snap. High punt that will not be fielded. Gets a Bobcat bounce, rolls deep in, will be down there at the 30-yard line of the Curly Wolves, where the Curly Wolves will take over with 57 seconds left in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, but as we were talking about earlier, just an excellent first quarter of exciting football by both these high school football teams, and I think we can look forward to that for the remaining 3 quarters, as it's always going to be a dogfight in these football games between the Bobcats and Curly Wolves, and certainly this first quarter has proven no exception.
Fountain goes to the left side. Morrow and Flannery are on the right side. Johnston, the senior quarterback. All right, an outstanding game. Falls on the ground as it's missed connection between the center and the quarterback, and they'll see who recovered it.
I think Prescott got back on it, but I'm always wrong, but I'm right there.
Yeah, second down as the Prescott line, and Jared Yates just came up with it, and Jared
Yates is just a football player, yeah, Randy, and he's just always going to be where the action is, and that time able to help his team out by getting on a loose football.
Second down and 10 for the Curly Wolves. Ball mark just on the Bobcat side of the 30. Clock running with 30 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Flenory will come to the near side as Fountain goes wide right. Pitch to Van Hook. He drops it in the backfield for a loss of about 8 at the 22-yard line.
And there you saw the Prescott option play, just not able to make connections on that pitch. And so the Bobcats able to create a... He's an outstanding quarterback. And of course, a senior this year, going to lead this Prescott offense with a lot of effectiveness.
And the Curly Wolves ready to start the second quarter of play. The ball marked at the 22 of the Wolves. 3rd down and 18. They need to get to just across the 40-yard line for a first down in their own territory. Look for Johnston to drop back. In motion goes Van Hook to the far side. Dropping back is Johnston. He's got 4 men out. Rushed hard by the Bobcats. Throws it down, and that an intentional grounding call will be made. Great play by Jeff High in the backfield, or Michael Christian.
Good hustle by Mike Christian, and you saw Christian's speed there. He's a smallish defensive tackle, but awful quick, and was able to pull Al Johnson down in an ill-advised throw by the Prescott quarterback.
So there'll be yardage marked off, and 4th down will come up for Prescott as they will be forced to punt deep in their own territory.
Certainly the Bobcats will benefit from good field position after this punt, so they will need to come back out and reestablish the grinding type offense that they showed in that first possession, that they moved the ball down quickly and scored on the Curly Wolves.
Penalty will be assessed from where Al Johnston threw it, and they will mark it back half the distance to go from there at the 6-yard line. Well, that was a big penalty against the Curly Wolves.
It was a big penalty, but it was a big play by Michael Christian that actually started all that to happen. So Hope going to get good field position after the Yates punt.
Yates will be back near the end zone back line. Kick is up, almost blocked. Good job by Yates to get it away, and Mike Fountain just drops it there at the 29-yard line. Bobcats will have great field position to start this second quarter of play.
Yeah, you really can't ask for any better field position to start a possession after a punt. So the Bobcats bring their offense back on the field.
And the Cats will again see what they can do offensively. They've sputtered their last 2 possessions. They will go with an unbalanced line to the left side. Bright goes wide left. Ramsey is the tight end on the left side. 3 offensive linemen to that side of the center, and Edwards is hit a bunch by the Curly Wolves. Little or no gain there as he's finally dropped by Al Johnston and also number 1 Douglas Flenory.
Well, Steve Edwards certainly did his part on that play. Took a lot of different Curly Wolves to bring him down. Just not a very good job of holding your blocks on the Bobcats part, but good job of a lot of players on the Curly Wolves part getting to keep Steve Edwards from bumping that outside.
Flag down, and it's a fraction against the Bobcats. They'll bring it back 5 yards. And it'll be 1st and 15 for the Cats. So Steve ran hard, got beat up for nothing.
And a penalty, and that's just something that these Bobcats want to have a football team that's going to be in position to win games. They've got to cut out.
Muldrew goes wide right this time. Split left to the near side is Bright. Cole looking across the middle. Now he'll be flushed out of the pocket, runs against the grain. Great tackle there. Outstanding job by number 40, Justin Jernigan.
Justin Jernigan made a real good open field tackle on a quick player like Courtney Cole, and the Bobcats were able to pick up about 7 yards on the play, so bring up a second and about 8.
Gain of 7. Bobcats have it at the Curly Wolf 26 on 2nd down. Coach Kell was telling Courtney a few things on the sideline that time, exhorting him. And Corey Muldrew goes to the right side. Bright is slot left. Hand off to Steve Edwards along the right side, and he's tripped up there by Jason Morrow.
Boy, Jason Morrow has been in on a lot of football plays tonight, and in just a little over a quarter of action, and there he did a good job of tripping up Steve Edwards and keeping him from a big game.
3rd down and 5. Ball marked at the Curly Wolf 23. Early in this second quarter of play, Prescott 7, Hope 6. Now Gray Ramsey will go wide right. He split out right, slot, or wide left, slot left is Bright. Hand off to Bright on the counter from the slot back. He gets near the 20 before he's brought down there.
Yeah, it was a good job of hanging on there by number 40 for the Curly Wolves, and that's Justin Jernigan again. So he's made 2 nice plays. Bring up a 4th and about 3 for the Bobcats, and certainly will be going for it with the ball just outside the 20-yard line.
There you saw a shot of the Bobcat Band, Super Band, Kim Madlock directing, and they'll be performing at halftime. 9:20 left in this first half of play.
In all forms and fashion, but Courtney's quickness and just elusiveness was able to make a big play for the Bobcats there.
He saved that play, as you're right, Bubba. The Bobcats 1st and goal at the Curly Wolf 4. Bobcats 4 downs to knock it in here. As the Cats come up to the line of scrimmage, Rusty Beck, number 77, the senior, leads them up. Unbalanced line to the left. Power I left. Hand off to Edwards. Hit hard there. Boy, outstanding tackle. And let's see who that was. Number 74 for the Curly Wolves, Jared Miller on the tackle.
No, I was 75.
75, that was Wicker. Outstanding play by Wicker. He just nailed Edwards.
Very good job of what football is, a tough running back meeting a tough tackler, and that's exactly what you had on that play. Good execution by both players.
Bobcats now will have Muldrew to the right side as a tight end. Unbalanced line left, power I left. 2nd down and go. Hand off again to Edwards. Touchdown from 2.5 yards out with 8:21 left here in the second quarter of play. The Bobcats regain the lead.
Yeah, Bobcats forge ahead there with that touchdown, and without question, you'll see the offense try to tack 2 on with their extra point attempt.
And the Bobcats will go for 2 here after they missed the point after on their first touchdown to try to even it out to make it 14-7.
Give the left side of that offensive line some credit there. Nice hole there for Steve Edwards.
Yeah, Ryan Walker over there, Carpenter. Now the Bobcats will even their lines up. Power I left. Jelani Solomon. So Squibbler fielded at the 30. Nice job there. Great tackle by Billy Roberts after a good return or field by number 11, Brent Jordan.
That was a great tackle by Billy Roberts. What I'd like to see is Billy making being able to make that tackle about down on the 15 or 20. So the kickoffs have been short for the Bobcats, but good coverage.
1st and 10, Curly Wolves at their own 33-yard line, trailing the Cats 14-7.
You know, the Curly Wolves have not really established a ground game yet tonight, and but have been effective with their passing game.
They really have. Flannery goes wide left to the near side. Mike Fountain. Carlos Van Hook is the tailback. Yates is the fullback. Pitch to Van Hook along the right side. Turns back in. Bobcats just miss him as he gains about 3.
Yeah, had a couple of Bobcats miss. Saw Jeff High over there along with Alex Flannery, Jonathan Sampson there. And so Van Hook, Carlos Van Hook for the Curly Wolves, able to pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Bobcats 2 junior linebackers, 43 Jacob Jones, 16 Flannery on the tackle. Doing a good job tonight. 2nd down and 7 at the 36. Johnston, outstanding leader quarterback for the Curly Wolves. Fountain goes wide left. Slot left Morrow. Dropping back is Johnston. Throws across the middle. And let's see who the flag's on. And it could be either way, Fountain or Billy Roberts.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to call that one.
I don't even know if that should have been a flag either way.
I think for me, the ball was about...
yeah, it was way over everybody's head.
Yeah, the Bobcats are... But again, I think it's unfortunate for the Bobcats, but...
that really wasn't an infraction on Fountain. He was...
they just kind of ran into each other.
Yeah.
Billy was kind of going up for the football, and but the Bobcats, I'm certainly not going to gripe about it. Being a Bobcat fan, the Bobcats will take that penalty and set Prescott back.
Brings up second down and long for the Curly Wolves at the 21 after that infraction.
Al was under a lot of pressure there. Jason Patton back there along with Jeff High and Christian, and so let fly with a ball that neither the receiver or Billy Roberts could have caught.
3rd and 20, let's make it, at the 21-yard line of the Curly Wolves. Morrow and Jones go wide right. Fountain to the left. Johnston dropping back across the middle, and Jacob Jones deflects the ball as it was intended for Fountain.
Nice play there by the junior linebacker, Jacob Jones, as Prescott comes up with a 4th down, and their punting team trots onto the field as the Bobcats should pick up decent field position again with 7:18 left in the first half.
And again, the talents of Corey Muldrew as a punt returner, you'd love to see him get a chance to return a punt. Whether Jared Yates will give him that opportunity, we don't know. Looks like there's an equipment problem out on the field and by the Curly Wolves, and they finally call a timeout with 7:18 left here in the second quarter. Bobcats leading 14-7, and look like they'll get the ball back as it's 4th and 20 for the Curly Wolves deep in their own territory at the 21. And there looked like an equipment problem on the Curly Wolves. I was surprised the referees didn't give him an equipment timeout.
I don't really know what the problem was, but there was something that wasn't right, and finally Prescott called timeout to rectify it. Certainly no place down here deep on your end of the field to have any kind of mistake in your kicking game. So Prescott kind of goes over and gets their situation straightened out. Coach Kell and the Bobcats conferring over there along with Coach Ricky Smith as the punt return team comes back on the field.
And Yates will do the punting, and back deep now the tandem of junior Steve Edwards and Corey Muldrew, number 80 for the Cats. And there's an illegal procedure. It's just one of the linemen for the Curly Wolves jumped, just kind of fell forward right before the snap.
Yep, that's going to set them back 5 more, and just continuing to make their situation worse.
So bring up a 4th down now and 25. Mark it at the 16-yard line.
So the Bobcats definitely going to end up with good field position with Steve Edwards and Corey Muldrew back deep to receive the Jared Yates punt.
Back at about the 45 of the Curly Wolves. Snap is good. Yates fields it. Gets off a wobbler kick and just past Edwards. An effective kick by Yates as the Bobcats will take over at their 41-yard line. I mean, that was as good as you could do in that situation. A 44-yard punt, no return, and boy, I mean, anybody would want that.
No question about it. Jared Yates had not kicked the ball particularly well his first couple of punts, but that time just drove it to a place where there wasn't a Bobcat and sent it on a spiral. So really effective punt there by Jared Yates.
So Bright goes wide right. To the near side comes Corey Muldrew. The Bobcats, in place of Eric Turner at that left tackle spot, have number 71 senior Corey Golston, as Turner has not re-entered the game since he was hurt early in the game. No,
I don't think we'll see Eric Turner again tonight. Chad Lacey also, Jeff Haynes down there administering to him, and but of course he's been back in the game. So injuries have played a part in this first half of tonight's Prescott Hope ball game.
So the Bobcats get a different ball this time at the 41. The Bobcat 41 to start this series. Sarles and Edwards are your running backs. Dropping back is Cole, hits Muldrew, or Bright. Boy, Bright scoots around, drops the ball. I thought, maybe not, but he scoots around for about a 6-yard gain for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I picked up a little extra yardage there. Yeah, I picked up about 6 on the play. Just a little quick pass to deep right, and Bobcats with 2nd and 4.
And Muldrew goes to the left side. Bright is slot right. Split backfield this time. Edwards to the left. Pitch to Edwards. Good block by Muldrew. Edwards runs over a man, Jernigan, and gets the first down at the 43.
Well executed by the Bobcats. Nice pitch by Courtney Cole, and an excellent block out here. I didn't catch it, but kind of sealed off that end. And Steve Edwards got out here in a hurry and punished the tackler while he was doing it.
Corey Muldrew made that sealing block, and well, he does a lot of good things.
I was going to say that's one of the things we don't say a lot about, but he's an outstanding blocker.
Yeah, and the coaches use him in that way a lot. Bright goes to the far side. Muldrew is split left on this side. Hand off to Sarles. Boy, he's hit hard. Is outstanding job by Jared Yates. He fended off his blocker and met Jared Sarles at the line of scrimmage, 2nd down.
I'd have to say Jared Yates was ready for that play. Nice form tackle, and no gain at all. Maybe lost a half a yard.
5:52 clock running left in this first half of play. 2nd down and 10 at the 44 of the Curly Wolves. Bright goes wide right. Split left is Muldrew. On the flank to Muldrew, beats his man at the 40, the 30. Boy, nice move by Corey Muldrew, down to the 20, inside the 20 to the 18.
That's why this kid is an all-state receiver as a junior. He, as I mentioned before, tacklers have a bead on him. He just has an uncanny ability to make people miss and then run hard after he makes those moves. So
let's just reset that, Bub. I mean, you know, you throw it out there, he's unprotected, and you're just saying, okay, Corey, run 20 yards however you can. And that's what he did that time, over and through defenders for the Curly Wolves. Muldrew goes wide right. Slot left is Bright. 1st and 10 for the Cats at the 18. Play action fake. Throws to Sarles out of the backfield at the 10, or near the 10. Brings up a 2nd down and a couple for the Cats.
Nice hustling play over there by one of the Curly Wolves. That 74, Jared Miller, came in from his defensive line spot and trailed Jared Sarles and made the tackle. So a nice pass play by the Bobcats and good hustling play by Jared Miller of the Curly Wolves.
Yeah, the Curly Wolves defensive line of Yates and Wicker and Miller and Ellis have done an outstanding job here tonight. 2nd down and 2. Pitch to Edwards, and there's flags, illegal motion on the Cats.
Well, and so that's going to set us back 5 and bring up a 2nd and about 8 or 9, and certainly not a penalty that we needed. And these 5-yard penalties just nickel and dime us to death sometimes, and they're great drive stoppers, especially when Prescott doesn't have to touch you to set you back 5 yards.
Yeah, 2nd down and 8 for the Cats now at the 17-yard line of the Curly Wolves. 4:38 clock running left in this first half. Hope 14, Prescott 7. Cole brings the play in for the Cats from the Bobcat coaching staff. Muldrew will go to the left side, to the near side. Bright is over on the right side. Split backfield. Edwards cheats to the left. Dropping back is Cole. He's got Muldrew. Touchdown from 17 yards out with 4:13 left in the first half. Hope has scored again.
Yeah, nice pass by Courtney, and Corey's going to catch those. He just put a little stop and go move on, and the Prescott DB bid on it. Corey wide open in the end zone as the Bobcats cap off that drive and go ahead 20-7.
Good job by Cole. A good job of the offensive line, keeping Prescott's line from penetrating, giving Cole that time to hit Corey Muldrew. Colin Pilkington will attempt the point after. It's up, and it's down there at the 20-yard line, where number 10 for the Curly Wolves, Otis Harris, fields it, and the Curly Wolves will take over at their own 20, trailing the Cats 21-7 with 4:13 left in this first half of play.
A little bit better kick there by Jelani Solomon. It looks to me, and of course I'm no kicking coach, but he just looked to be putting maybe too much effort into his kicks and just not getting a good foot on the ball earlier, but pretty effective kickoff there by Jelani Solomon.
Al Johnston, the senior quarterback, sends Douglas Flenoy to the right, to the near side. Fountain is over to the far side. Hand off to Van Hook. Van Hook finally gets away from a few men, and a good tackle there made by Jason Patton for the Cats after a gain of about 4.
Yeah, that's a nice hold there. Carlos Van Hook ran through a couple of arm tackles by the Bobcats, and Patton there kind of fell back in to make the tackle. So second and about 6 for the Curly Wolves. 3:48 left in the half.
Fountain goes wide left. Flenoy split left. To the right side is Jones. Hand off to Van Hook. He's hit from behind by Michael Christian. Also Dietrich Pace there for the Cats.
Good job by Christian and Pace there to shut that play, and lost yardage there, and lost about 3 yards on the play. So bring up a 3rd and 8 for Prescott.
Bobcat defensive line getting some penetration here late in this first half of play. 3:10 left in the first half. 3rd and 8 for the Curly Wolves at their own 22. Fountain goes wide left. Flenoy to the right, as does Jason Morrow, number 12. Dropping back is Johnston, looking down, hits Fountain for the first down at the 36-yard line.
And that's what I was talking about earlier, how Al Johnson just gets rid of the football and really has a strong arm. But these Prescott receivers really run their pass routes crisply and precisely, and it was evident on there as Prescott needed big yardage, and just a nice timing pattern there by the Curly Wolves.
So with 2:47 left in the first half, Prescott has a 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Jason Morrow goes wide right. Flenoy and Fountain to the left. Johnston dropping back. Patton flushing him out. He throws to the sidelines. Good way to dish it away. Brings up 2nd down.
I'm not sure that, well, it didn't look like they had a screen set up, but boy, there were a lot of Bobcats in there quickly, and could have maybe, but Al Johnson took a little bit of a pop there and goes over to talk with the coaching staff of the Curly Wolves.
One thing, Al Johnston doesn't walk off that field. He's been going both ways, and that's a tough task for a senior quarterback and defensive back. He's played a lot of downs tonight so far in this long first half. 2nd down for the Curly Wolves. Douglas Flenoy to the right side. Morrow's tight on the right side. Fountain to the left. Pitch to Van Hook. Van Hook looks to pass. He just throws it up. Nick Kemp is there. Nick Edwards is there. Roberts couldn't catch it. 32, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, the halfback pass there, and Billy won't ever see a kickoff or a punt easier to catch than that. And I know he'll kick himself because he's caught a lot harder balls than that. But the halfback pass didn't fool Nick Edwards, and Billy Roberts roamed over to knock the pass away.
3rd down and 10 for the Curly Wolves. Again at their own 36. 2:21 left here in this first half of play. Of course, the clock is stopped on that incompleted pass. Jones and Morrow flank to the right side. Fountain to the left. Dropping back is Johnston. Looking across the middle, has a screen to Morrow. An outstanding job by Morrow as he runs through tacklers for the first down near midfield. 1st and 10 Prescott.
Boy, that was a good play by the Curly Wolves, and that was Morrow, but Morrow lost his DB because it looked like they had stopped him at the line of scrimmage. He just scooted back across the middle. Play well set up. First down, Prescott.
At their own 49, mark it. 2:08 clock running left in this first half of play. Prescott trying to drive on the Cats here, put more points on before the first half ends. Jones to the right side, Fountain to the left. Now in motion goes Jones. Dropping back is Johnston. He's tackled there by Ryan Walker and Jeff High for the Cats.
Yeah, good play there by Ryan Walker. We talked about him earlier. He's a great senior leader and a lot of quickness there from his defensive end. Of course, Jeff High, another smallish defensive tackle back there just right on top of him. And nice play by the Bobcats.
Second down and long. Let's make it second down and 28 at the Prescott 31-yard line. 1:17 left in this first half. Clock running. Johnston, the quarterback for the Curly Wolves, gets his troops up to the line of scrimmage. Morrow and Flenoy to the near side. Fountain split left. Dropping back is Johnston to Flenoy across the middle. Bobcats just lose him, and he gets up midfield across into Bobcat territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, you know, it's been hard to get it all back at one time, but they picked a chunk of it back up, bring up about 3rd and 7. So nice pass and good running after he caught the football. 37 seconds. Clock running left in this first half of play. Hope 21, Prescott 7. Fountain now to the near side. Morrow and Jones, Flenoy to the left. Dropping back is Johnston across the middle, tipped by the Bobcat linebacker Jacob Jones. Yeah, trying to get the football there to Mike Fountain, and Jacob stuck a hand up, knocked it away. 22 seconds left in the first half.
4th down and 8 for the Curly Wolves.
Save $10. Save $20. Save $30 at the Athlete's Foot in Hope. That's right, save $10 to $30 on adult athletic shoes at the Athlete's Foot. Also enjoy great savings on children's shoes. Athletic socks, we have more than just a few pair. We also have a great selection of cleaners, strings, and a wide variety of supports for any foot for tremendous savings and great fit. Come to the Athlete's Foot, North Hervey and Hope, next to Pizza Hut.
Hello folks, old Tim Ashbrook again, Prescott Motor Company. I want to tell you about our late model, low mileage used car line. Folks, we got the best selection in Southwest Arkansas. We hand pick our program cars to get the best deal and the best product for our customer that we can sell at the most reasonable price. We have one owner trade-ins. Folks, we got financing available on our used line just as well as our new. So come on down to Prescott Motor Company and let us put you in one of our fine used vehicles at Highway 67 South in beautiful Prescott, Arkansas.
Back at Hammond Stadium as the Hope Bobcats enter the field to start the third quarter of play. The Curly Wolves already out, ready to go. The Bobcats captains and Prescott Curly Wolf captains at midfield discussing the second half. And the Bobcats will kick off to start this second half, and they'll be going from the south end zone, kicking to north to the Curly Wolves. Bobcats lead 21-7 above that first half. Bobcats in the statistics department, 125 yards rushing. Passing, according to Cole, was 4 of 7 for 55 yards, 1 interception. Penalties 4 for 45 yards, punts 2 for 32-yard average. For Prescott, rushing minus 18 yards, and that's been the big key in this game so far. Al Johnston has passed 8 of 19 times for 94 yards, 2 interceptions, and both teams have fumbled but not lost the fumble yet. And the punting for Jared Yates in the first half, 3 for 36-yard average.
Well, it was a ragged first half in a lot of respects. You know, some mistakes made on both sides. I think the key to those statistics are, and the reason Prescott is behind right now, that they had to throw the football 19 times and negative yards rushing. So certainly Prescott would like to be able to balance their offense out better and to grind the football out a little bit more. But the Bobcats ready to kick off here. Jelani Solomon eyes it up to kick off to the Prescott Curly Wolves.
He's kicking in Curly Wolf territory because of an infraction on the last play of the first half against the Curly Wolves. An onside kick. Bobcats have a chance for it. They drop it. Curly Wolves get it. Boy, that was an effective kick. Cats had it. Then the Curly Wolves wisely, number 11 for the Curly Wolves, Brent Jordan, recovered it.
Well, yeah, it was a break for Prescott because the Bobcats had several guys that could have jumped on top of the ball, just didn't go in under control. Real nice onside kick there by Jelani Solomon.
And a good time to do it. You've gotten a 15-yard penalty. You're kicking from your opponent's 45-yard line. You're not going to lose a lot even if they recover it. First and 10, Curly Wolves at the 34, their own 34. Flannery and Morrow go wide left, Fountain to the near side. Johnston hands off to Van Hook. He goes up the middle. Ball on the ground. Let's see who got it. We'll just wait. Bobcats have it. First and 10 at the 43 of the Curly Wolves.
Well, I was just going to say that will help their rushing yardage. Actually, Carlos Van Hook picked up about 6 or 7 and fumbled the football, and a couple of Bobcats there, Billy Roberts and Jacob Jones, to give the Bobcats possession on the Curly Wolf 43-yard line.
Well, and David Bennett's staff made an adjustment at halftime to where they're going to send Van Hook north and south off the right guard and try to get yardage up the middle. Muldrew goes wide right. Slot left is Bright for the Cats. Play action. Cole being rushed and hit by Jared Yates. A big hit as he gets it away, and incomplete pass, second down.
Well, just good pressure there by the Curly Wolves. Yates made the tackle, but I think Jernigan put the pressure on and made Courtney step up, and the Bobcats coming out winging on their first series of the second half.
Well, Yates has good speed for a big guy playing in that interior line for the Curly Wolves, and he just went full speed at Courtney Cole.
He always plays with a lot of intensity. Was an outstanding player last year as a sophomore.
Second down and 10 for the Cats at the Curly Wolf 34, starting this third quarter of play. Bright and Muldrew split right. Unbalanced line right. Pitch to Edwards. Edwards runs by a man, and there's a flag thrown, which would indicate holding on the Cats near the original line of scrimmage.
Boy, Steve Edwards just flew by a Curly Wolf that had him in his sights, and that play will be negated by the holding penalty on the Bobcats, and another mistake to start this second half after a fine run by Steve Edwards.
Bring up second down and 20 for the Cats. They'll go back into their territory, and don't need to make those kind of mistakes. Both teams coming out a little bit not as polished as that action was in the first half.
Well, the Bobcats specifically, you know, it just seemed to me, I don't know what the statistics were penalty-wise, but they just seem to make some penalties at inopportune times. Of course, there's never a good time for one, but negated a fine first down there by Steve Edwards.
Ball at the 46 of the Cats. Second and 20 for the Cats. Muldrew split left to the near side. Pitched again to Edwards. Muldrew gives him a good block. Edwards jukes a man midfield, 45, knocked out of bounds near the 40 at the 41-yard line of the Curly Wolves.
Yeah, nice play by Steve Edwards, and also number 17 for the Curly Wolves, Ben Jones, there to knock him out of bounds. Bobcats were able to pick up about 12-13 from the penalty, so bring up a third and about 8 for the Bobcats.
I don't think either team is without the knowledge that we're playing football tonight. There's some licks being passed out there. They're not just shoving them out of bounds, they're giving them a knock out of bounds. Third down and 8 at the Curly Wolf 41. Muldrew and Bright to the near side. Play action. Again, Yates hits Courtney Cole just as he throws it, and intended down there for Gray Ramsey. A flag thrown where the pass was intended, and we'll see who the infraction's on.
Yeah, we've got a Curly Wolf down on the field. That's number 11, Brent Jordan, and but he's back up and shaking it off as we'll wait the referee's signal on the penalty.
And it's offensive interference on the Cats. So the Bobcats, see if the Curly Wolves take it or decline it and bring up fourth down. They'll take it. A major penalty against the Cats moves it back to the 44-yard line and bring up third down and 22 for the Cats.
Yeah,
and that's also a loss of down for the Cats, so the punting team comes out quickly. Jason Patton out there for the Cats to do the punting. Cats get out there quickly. Snap is good. Patton gets off a high punt, which Flenory will not field. He lets it roll. Now he's all over it, but boy, you need to get away from it if you're not going to field it.
Yeah, he almost made a bad decision there, but an effective roll there by the Bobcats, and nice high punt by Jason Patton. So Prescott set to take their second go at it here in the second half.
10:46 left in the third quarter of play. Bobcats leading 21-7 over the Prescott Curly Wolves. Prescott has it first and 10 at their own 16-yard line. Al Johnston quickly runs out on the field to the huddle. And he'll send Fountain and Flenory. No, Fountain will come to the near side. Wait, Flenory will come to the near side. Now Fountain to the far side. Jones also to the near side. Hand off to Van Hook, and he is smothered behind the line of scrimmage by a host of Bobcats. J.D. Sampson, the big guy, Jacob Jones in there, Michael Christian, Alex Flanoy, all doing a good job for the Cats.
Good penetration there, and just shut that play down. A loss of about 2, and Prescott will be faced with 2nd and 12 with the ball on the 14-yard line.
Now Fountain goes to the left side. Morrow and Jones come to the near side. On 2nd and long, Johnston play action across the middle, hits Fountain. Outstanding catch and amongst the Bobcats, 1st and 10 across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
He just runs that pattern so well. We're just not even getting any kind of close coverage on that, and Al Johnson puts it right there on Fountain's fingertips, and Prescott picks up a 1st down.
Well, you know, Johnson threads it so well, too. He put it right where Fountain could catch it and bring it down and run with it. 1st and 10 for the Curly Wolves at their own 33. Now going to Brad Harris, the sophomore, to the right side. Hand off to Yates, and maybe a gain of a yard there as he's tripped up by Alex Flanoy.
Alex Flanoy made a nice play there, had a good read there from his linebacker position, and about a half-yard gain on the play.
Let's bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Curly Wolves. 9:24 clock running left in the 3rd quarter of play. It's the Curly Wolves' 2nd possession of this 3rd quarter. Harris, the sophomore, number 7, goes to the left side. Flanoy and Jones to the right. Throw to Flanoy, nice catch, and he has got the 1st down at the 44.
You notice the concept of the Prescott passing game this half, just a 1 or 2 step drop, and receivers are running nice, precise routes, and Al Johnson putting it right on the money. Prescott moving the ball with their passing attack.
Yeah, Johnson, you're exactly right. Puts it on the money. He throws it where it's got to be. A nice hard throw, and the receivers do an outstanding job of catching it. Now Morrow and Flanoy to the right side. Fountain to the left. Ball on the exchange is dropped, and the Bobcats smother Johnston there before he can get back to the line of scrimmage.
Good charge there by Jonathan Sampson, Mike Christian, also Jeff High there, and a loss of a couple there for the Curly Wolves.
That offensive line of the Curly Wolves, Ryan Ellis is the center. Jared Miller and Shane Mowry are the guards. Doug Young and Brett Wicker are the tackles. And Wicker and Miller and Ellis going both ways here tonight. 2nd down and 11 for the Curly Wolves. Dropping back is Johnston. He'll throw right to D. Bright. Bright intercepts for the Cats down to the 25-yard line. There's a flag thrown on the offensive side of the ball. And we'll see what it is.
There's a flag. There is a flag down, and we'll just let the referees sort this out and see if the Bobcats have come up with a big turnover.
And it's decline penalty on the Curly Wolves, so the Bobcats get a big break here early in this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 at the Curly Wolf 25.
What I'd like to see the Bobcat offense do is come out here, not make any mistakes, and use their superior size and quickness, and try to get the ball in scoring position.
1st and 10 Cats. Rusty Beck, the senior center, leads the Cats up to the line of scrimmage. Ramsey's the tight end on the unbalanced line left. The slot back's Bright. Hand off to Edwards, and the Bobcats are guilty of illegal motion, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Well, just as I say that, they have that motion penalty, and so their task made a little bit harder by the 5-yard penalty.
1st and 15. Cats at the Curly Wolf 30 now.
And these little penalties like this, you know, the drive before, Randy, it was a drive killer. Of course, this one yet to be played out, but little things like that, you just can never overestimate how important it is to play good, sound, mental football.
And that's what you want. You want to get that consistency that you need when it gets down to crunch time in the conference, and both coaches are looking for that tonight from Prescott and Hope. Unbalanced line left. Pulling guard to the right, but Carlos Van Hook makes a major hit on Steve Edwards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think the two tailbacks met there, and Carlos Van Hook won. Nice play by the Prescott senior, and the Bobcats stopped for another 3 or 4 yard loss. So that little penalty sets the Bobcats back along with the lost yardage there, but a nice play by Carlos Van Hook.
Brings up second down, 17. Ball marked at the 32, let's put it. Corey Muldrew flanks out to the left side. Bright comes with him, slot left. Dropping back is Cole, hits Bright. Nice catch by D. Bright, because Al Johnston was all over him. Bright caught it and got around him and gets down to the 23.
Nice catch, and certainly good effort after he caught the football there by DeRoderick Bright. Gets back a few yards there. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 for these Bobcats.
A 10-yard gain for the Cats on that pass from Cole to Bright. Again, Al Johnston had him covered. Just an outstanding job done by the senior wide receiver, D. Bright. Bright goes wide right for the Cats. Unbalanced line left with Ramsey the tight end. Brent Carpenter, 66. Handoff to Steve Edwards. Big hole in there as he runs over 2 men down to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, Cats.
Yeah, nice hole there. Good surge again. Bobcats caught the Curly Wolves in a blitz, and once Steve got through that initial defensive line, just a big gain there, and puts the football just on top of the 10-yard line.
Bobcats could make a 1st down before they score. 1st and 10, just outside the 10. Bright goes wide right. Unbalanced line left. Handoff again to Edwards. Bounces off on the left side, and he'll be drugged down there at the 6. Curly Wolves, Lenore in there, also Ryan Ellis for the Curly Wolves.
Tough 4 yards there. Steve Edwards picked up, and good first play with the ball 1st and goal, and the Bobcats faced with a 2nd down.
Let's make it 2nd and 6 for the Cats. Just outside the 6-yard line of the Curly Woods. 5:39 left in the 3rd quarter. Hope 21, Prescott 7. D. Bright goes wide right now for the Cats. Muldrew again staying tight on the left side. Handoff to Edwards along the right side, and he's pulled down there. Yates in there on the pile, and a host of other Curly Wolves. Number 75 also in there. That's Brett Wicker for the Curly Wolves.
Yeah, that held Steve Edwards to about a yard gain, so Hope 3rd and goal here, as Prescott made a nice play there.
Ball's at the 5. 3rd down and 5 for the Cats. Billy Roberts enters the game as a power back. When that happens, D. Bright comes out. Fake to Roberts, almost intercepted on the pass to Muldrew.
Yeah, that play has to develop a little bit quicker. It was open for just a second, but it took too long to develop. And so the Bobcats here with a 4th and 5 to reach the goal line.
Yeah, Mike Fountain did a nice job of reading that and keeping it, and you know, he was looking to Bobcats and the Prescott Curly Wolves with 4:38 left here in the 3rd quarter of play. A lot of fans milling around the Band Boosters concession stand. They do a great job every year getting refreshments to the crowd. And the Bobcats now on 4th and 5 from the Curly Wolf 5. Unbalanced line left. Cole hands off, and just no room as a saving tackle there by Jared Yates.
Yeah, if somebody was going to make a play down there and the Bobcats' power set just wasn't powerful enough to knock out Jared Yates, as he forces the Bobcats to turn the ball over on downs to the Curly Wolves.
4:29 in the third quarter as the Curly Wolves keep the Bobcats from scoring, and now the Curly Wolves, Al Johnston and company, will see what they can do deep in their own territory, trying to get some points on the board here against the Cats. Fountain will go wide right. I formation. Jason Morrill's the tight end on the left side. Slot right is Flannery. Hand off to the fullback, Yates. He's trying to bull his way near the 5, but Bobcats, Jason Patton there, J.D. Sampson just pushing back.
Yeah, nice play there by Jonathan Sampson. He just bulled through there. We talked about him some last week. The biggest, strongest Bobcat, just has tremendous strength and made a strong, powerful play there.
4:04 clock running left here in this third quarter of play. A loss of a yard, second down and 11. Mark it at the Curly Wolf 3. Curly Wolves operating deep in their own territory, and they'll send Jones to the right side, Fountain to the left. Dropping back is Johnston. Gray Ramsey intercepts it at the 20. He's at the 15. Ramsey's got good speed. He'll cut in. Touchdown, Gray Ramsey, with 3:33 left in the third quarter of play. Gray Ramsey scores on a 20-yard interception.
We have a Curly Wolf down, looks like number 74, Jared Miller. But the play, Gray Ramsey had just come in, and the Curly Wolves tried to sneak their
Cats as they lead 27-7 here at Hammond Stadium against the Prescott Curly Wolves. Pilkington, the junior backup quarterback for the Cats. Chad Markham, also a junior, will hold. Kicks up. Pilkington hits it good. So with 3:32 left in the third quarter, it is
the Bobcats, and you mentioned the sophomore there, Brad Harris, had an outstanding game last week against Ashdown, and is going to be a really outstanding player for these Curly Wolves for the next 3 years. So Brad Harris, a sophomore, getting plenty of action on this Prescott varsity.
Bobcats number 3, Greg Muldrew, has checked in at one of the corners for the Cats. Chad Lacey's been hurt from early on in this game and hasn't been playing. Johnston hands off to Van Hook, and he is met hard, breaks a tackle, and Patton just wrestles him down, and the whistle blows as Patton and High just can't bring down the big running back, Carlos Van Hook.
Yeah, they wrestled him. They just didn't get him down, but I think the initial hit over there was, I think it was probably Dietrich Pace, and made a good hit on Van Hook, made him back up and change direction, so a loss of about 9 yards on the play.
You know, Pace, the longer the game goes, the more intense he gets on defense. You might not hear a lot about him in the first quarter, but you wait till the third and fourth, and that guy's ready to play. Johnston sends a man wide left, split right. Hand off to Jared Yates on the counter. He's got running room, and he's tackled hard there. Looks like on the tackle for the Cats, Steve Edwards.
Steve Edwards on play. There's a guy that these defensive backs don't want to see coming back there in the head of steam. Steve Edwards wisely went down low on Jared Yates, but not after he picked up about 9 yards on the play.
Third down. Now where they mark it, and 10 for the Curly Wolves at their own 33-yard line. 2:05 clock running left in the third quarter of play. Fountain will go wide right. Flannery slot right. Nick Edwards comes out to pick up Fountain. Dropping back is Johnston. Looks like a screen setup. He's got his man Van Hook. Well, a good tackle over there by Muldrew. Greg Muldrew really saves Van Hook from getting first down as he holds him to a couple-yard gain.
Good heady play there by Greg Muldrew. Just read the play pretty well and grabbed on and held on. And so Prescott with a 4th and 8 here with 1:26 left in the third quarter.
So it's an obvious punting down with the ball being on the Curly Wolves' 34-yard line. And back to punt, though, this time will be, looks like Mike Fountain. Yates has been the punter, so I don't know what that indicates. Corey Muldrew back deep for the Cats at around his 32-yard line. And the Curly Wolves will be flagged for delay of game as they didn't have everybody in there, and that'll knock them back another 5 yards on their side of the 30.
Well, you know, 55 seconds left in the third quarter. I know listening to Coach Bennett's show the other night, he thought fatigue might have played a little factor, and it might be a factor here. Obviously, Prescott sending several more players both ways.
Curly Wolves ready to punt. Fountain gets off a high punt, a nice punt. And it'll get a good Prescott roll down near the 33-yard line of the Cats, and it's down there, and that's where the Cats will take over. 1st and 10 on their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, nice punt there by Fountain. He's just kind of a do-it-all, real good athlete. As I mentioned before, he and Marr both played outstanding defense, and we've seen him in on a multitude of catches tonight, and a good punter.
Well, Courtney Cole runs out on the field and then has a cramp in his calf and the Charlie horse, and he's down before he can get the play started. So there's a timeout on the field for officials and the coaches to check Cole. And, you know, that's unusual. He just, you know, he's played a lot of this game, but he runs out to the huddle and has a cramp. Okay. 2nd down and 12 for the Cats at their own 30-yard line. 13 seconds left here in the third quarter of play. Muldrew and Bright go wide left. Bobcats Pilkington rolling left, hits Corey Muldrew. No, just couldn't do it, and Muldrew's down as the end of the third quarter comes to a conclusion with the score Hope 28, Prescott 7. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, keeping in shape? Uh-huh. You know, Columbia has lots of ways for seniors to stay healthy. They've got nutrition experts, geriatric specialists, cardiac specialists. They even fill prescriptions. Pretty much whatever you need, they've got it. Thanks for the tip. No problem. So how far are you guys going?
About 6 miles.
Huh. Well, you go on ahead. I've got some interviews. I used to play ball.
Hi, my name's Travis Mitchell. Mitchell's Medimart, 16th and South Main. Out here by the hospital, across the street from the high school, out amongst all the doctors. A very, very good location, a very good, convenient spot to drive up to, quick in, quick out. We're sometimes even referred to as the 9-step drugstore. Very convenient, pop in, pop out. We're high on service, high on quality, and low on price. Won't you come see us at Mitchell's Medimart, 16th and South Main? Travis Mitchell.
Back at Hammond Stadium, 3rd down and 12 for the Bobcats. Colin Pilkington, the quarterback for the Cats, drops the ball on the exchange, and it's recovered by Prescott deep in Bobcat territory at the 32-yard line.
Well, certainly a break for Prescott. Start the fourth quarter, down 3 touchdowns, and pick up excellent field position here. And this is a Prescott team that knows how to come back. Certainly 3 scores not impossible for a passing attack, especially if Al Johnson gets hot to his receivers.
Another Bobcat down with leg cramps, and that may be
that's Christian, I believe.
Yeah, Michael Christian for the Cats. And we'll see what happens with him with 11:54 left in the fourth quarter of play. Again, Prescott, excellent field position, and the Bobcats don't need to fall asleep here. The Curly Wolves have a high-powered offense, and I'll tell you, Al Johnston's capable of doing a lot of things quickly.
Well, there's no question about that. I think one of the things that's hindered Al tonight is that they just had to throw the football so much, and of course the Bobcat rush has been relentless in most cases, but if there's any quarterback that we'll face this year that's capable of bringing his team back quickly, it's the senior from Prescott, Al Johnston, as I think, and have said a time or two, that I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best quarterback we'll see all year.
There you see the Prescott huddle, the offense ready. Al Johnston coming in, looking over to see, and Michael Christian will get up and walk off with that cramp. So we're about ready for action to resume here just in the fourth quarter with 11:54 left in the game. And Michael looks like he'll be all right, be ready to come back in. Curly Wolves out as they send Flannery and Morrill to the wide side, to the right side, Fountain to the near side. Johnston has the Curly Wolves at the Bobcat 32. Dropping back, rolling right. Johnston looking down, has a man open. Intercept, no, called for a touchdown as it was deflected by the Bobcats and caught by Douglas Flannery for a 32-yard touchdown pass from Johnston to Flannery.
Well, that was a nice play on the Flannery's part, but the Prescott coaches did a real smart thing, and that is roll Al Johnston way away from the pressure. He was able to get his steps and put something on the football, and a couple of Bobcats misplayed it. So the very thing we talked about, bringing them back quick, all of a sudden
ready to kick off. The low kick driving the coast of Holyfield back to the 10, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a penalty, and the Bobcats will have pretty good field position on the penalty.
Yeah, that was certainly fortunate for the Bobcats. Prescott, so much time left, decided not to go the onside kick now, but their plans kind of went awry there as Fountain kicked the football out of bounds. So Hope will end up with a nice field position with the ball on the 35-yard line.
Courtney Cole back in for the Cats. He missed the last series with a cramp, and we'll see how he's moving. It looks like he's still kind of limping around a little bit. First and 10 at the Bobcat 35. Muldrew goes wide right. Bright is split left. The line is unbalanced to the left. Cole hits Muldrew, and he has to fall down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, picked up a little yardage on the play. Picked up about 4 yards on the play as Courtney Cole comes back in from his cramp problems and hits Corey Muldrew with a little 4-yard pass.
Still, Courtney kind of limping there. And again, as we talked, Bobcats have had a little more cramps than the Curly Wolves here tonight. Muldrew's wide left, Bright to the right side, handoff to the fullback, Sarles, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, but no more, as he was hit there by number 35 for Gary Stovall for the Curly Wolves.
And the Prescott defense forcing the Hope Bobcats to have to convert. 10, just under 11 minutes left in this football game. They could get the ball back, strike quickly, and make this the barn burner that we all anticipated.
Third down and 6. Ball at the 39 of the Cats. Muldrew comes to the near side. Bright is split left. I formation. Cole is hit as he throws it. Let's see if it's a fumble or he was in forward motion. They call it a fumble, and Prescott gets it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Prescott Curly Wolves never say die, coming out here forcing the Bobcats into mistake after mistake and putting themselves in great field position to get another score. So things falling into place for the Curly Wolves to get back in this football game. Bobcat defense needs to take control, but Al Johnson going to have something to say about that in this Curly Wolf offense.
Ball at the 38 of the Cats. 10:26 left in this game. Curly Wolves down 28-14. Johnson sends 2 men to the right side. Fountain to the left. Johnson looking, hit as he throws it. Incomplete, almost intercepted by Jacob Jones.
Yep, Jacob Jones. Al just didn't have anybody open and trying to dump that ball off to his tight end there across the middle, and Jacob Jones there to knock it down. So, 2nd and 10. Still plenty of time left in this football game for the Curly Wolves to narrow the gap.
10:20, the clock stopped on that incompletion. 2nd down and 10. Again, when this ball's in Bobcat territory, Johnston's a danger to throw one into the end zone. Band enjoying the Prescott comeback here with 10:20 left in this ball game. Prescott with the ball and have scored, and now with the ball at the Bobcat 38, trailing 28-14. Now Jones and Fountain go to the left side on 2nd down and 10. To the right is Morrow. Dropping back is Johnston. He'll go for Morrow down, and Morrow had a man beat, but just overthrew. Johnston overthrew him at about the 10-yard line.
Boy, he had a man beat badly, and, you know, really, you don't want to be letting people behind you in this situation. You just have to really protect against that, and fortunate for the Bobcats that Al wasn't on target. Al Johnston wasn't on target with that pass because we did get Prescott did get a man deep.
3rd down and 10. 10-14 left in this ball game. As the Curly Wolves, you can bet, will go for it twice here. Send 2 men to the right side, Fountain to the left. Dropping back is Johnson, rolling right. Hitting, looks like is that Morrow out of the backfield for another 1st down for the Curly Wolves at the 28 of the Cats.
Again, another cramp down for the Bobcats. Michael Christian there with another cramp, but Al Johnson and the Prescott coaching staff decided not to face that pressure again and rolled Al out one more time and was able to find the open receiver as the official timeout as Jeff Haynes attends to the Bobcat cramp.
And with 10:06 left in the ball game, Prescott with a 1st and 10, a fresh new set of downs here at the Bobcat 28.
Exactly what we talked about at the beginning of this game, you know, that it was going to be a barn burner, and certainly it's proved to be so. The Bobcats at one time looked like they had this game in control, made some mistakes, and Prescott made some plays and driving the football with a 1st down inside the Bobcat 25-yard line.
So a lot of time left in this game, a lot of plays be made, and the Curly Wolves right now are making the plays.
Well, we talked about maybe Prescott might be getting a little fatigued. I don't think that's the case. I think their adrenaline is pumping high, and the Bobcats seem to be hit by just a slew of cramps here in the 4th quarter.
And the cramps, Michael Christian comes off. Looks like, again, he'll be back out there. And the Bobcats ready with their defense. Jacob Jones gets the signals from defensive coordinator Dwayne Curry for the Cats. Fountain goes to the left side. Morrow and Flannery are wide right. Johnston will drop back and roll right. He's been effective there. He's got a man deep, but throws it out of the end zone. Billy Roberts was there also. Steve Edwards down there for the Bobcats.
Nice coverage there by Steve Edwards, and you know, Al Johnson has a little bit of a sidearm delivery there, but he sure puts a tight spiral on it, and that was one of those pass plays, you know, you either complete to your man or nobody's going to catch it, and so Prescott faced with a 2nd and 10, this passing game not taking much time off the clock for these Bobcats.
Ball for Flannery to the right side, Fountain to the left. 9:50 left in the ball game. Johnston will roll right again. Alex Flannery just pops him there and almost intercepted again by Jacob Jones for the Cats.
Yeah, the Bobcats sent Alex in on looked like a delayed blitz maybe, but nobody there to pick him up, and as a result, the incompletion brings up a 3rd down for the Curly Wolves.
3rd and 10, ball at the 28. 9:44 left in this ball game. Again, Al Johnston's going to keep dropping back. He's going to look for receivers and test that Bobcat defensive secondary. Flannery and Morrow come to the near side. Fountain is wide right. Yates and Van Hook are your running backs. Dropping back is Johnston over the middle, and boy, Jason Morrow, just an outstanding catch and a run to match down to the 6-yard line.
There's their little, I don't know what you call it, a screen, not really a screen, just a little delay there by Jason Morrow. Nobody ever has picked him up all night on that, not recognizing what's happening, and just a great catch on his part, and puts the Prescott Prescott Curly Wolves on the 6-yard line, and certainly with an opportunity to tighten this game with 9:34 remaining.
There's an injured Curly Wolf now. One of the linemen looks like number 67, Doug Young.
You know, Randy, I think probably one of the most impressive things about this night, Prescott virtually has had no running game at all, and the passing game, you know it's coming, but Prescott is just doing a great job of executing as the Curly Wolves look like they're calling another timeout.
Or there's an official timeout, and just talking to the players. We'll see what the deal is. You're right, with Flannery and Morrow making the catches they've made, Mike Fountain doing a great job, Johnston airing the ball out here at Hammond Stadium. Morrow and Flannery go to the right side this time. First and goal, dropping back is Johnston, and incomplete pass. He just missed his man, Nick Edwards, on the coverage.
Yeah, just a good job of covering there for the Bobcats. Nothing there. Al just kind of put it where nobody could catch it. So second and goal for the Curly Wolves with the ball on the 7-yard line.
9:20 left in the ball game. Prescott's second and goal at the 7. They'll have 3 more shots at it. And they've picked up a lot of those when they've needed to on 3rd and 4th down. Now Jones goes wide right. Morrow is tight on the right side. Fountain to the left. Dropping back, and there's a flag thrown at the snap, and that would indicate illegal procedure on the Curly Wolves.
Now there's a mistake on Prescott's part, because you just can't give up any yardage when you're 2 touchdowns behind and making it harder on yourself. So a mental miscue there on by the Prescott offense.
And it'll bring it back to about the 13 on the mark as they mark it off. Let's make it 12.5-yard line of the Cats. Second down and goal. There you see the Hope Bobcat band keeping the Bobcat fans in this ball game. 9:18 left. A lot of playing time to go. Jones goes wide right. Split left is Mike Fountain. Fake to Van Hook, and a rollout by Johnston, and Pace pushes him out, as does Alex Flannery on the far side at about the 6.
Yeah, we're going to bring up let's say, yeah, he carried the ball down to about the 600-yard line, as you said, Randy, and Prescott, well, it's just going to be a big play here, 3rd and goal. Of course, Prescott in that 4-down territory, 3rd and 4th down, and really 2 tries to get it in. So 2 big plays coming up for this Prescott offense.
Ben Jones goes wide right, Fountain to the left. 3rd down and goal at the 6. Reverse screen to Van Hook. He'll run in on a 6-yard scoring pass with 9:03 left in the ball game. Prescott has come within a touchdown of tying this ball game.
Good play by the Curly Wolves. Al Johnson rolled right and kind of got the pursuit going with him. Van Hook snuck out of the backfield there into the left flat and just bulled his way into the end zone as the Curly Wolves come within a touchdown of the Bobcats.
And Mike Fountain will attempt the point after. It's 28-20 with 9:03 left in this ball game, and Prescott is definitely right back in this ball game.
You know, I mentioned as we watch the extra point here, and the extra point,
but he almost let it go.
Well, it was give Greg Muldrew a lot of credit on that, because that was surely a hard ball to handle, as the referee gives us the signal on the penalty. Was that offside on the Bobcat?
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it may be, and if it is, then they'll kick it over.
Huh. Yep, they're going to kick it over, and apparently
now it's offsides on the Curly Wolves.
Well, Hope recovered the football. But I mean,
but I guess they called it. But no, that's right. They are moving it back.
No, it's
offsides on the Bobcats.
Offsides on the Bobcats, and you know that's.
Well, what you do after you've seen them kick that onside kick, you get your good hands people out there to get ready to recover this one.
You know, that's another thing. You know, we dodged a bullet there and we were offside. So another little mistake that could end up hurting these Bobcats.
Fountain to do the kicking. There you see Ramsey, Muldrew, Nick Edwards on that front line, and he kicks it away this time. Steve Edwards inside the 10 fields it. He gets around Harris out of the 20, the 30. He's got good speed. Edwards cuts through. There's a clip there. They're all over the place, and it'll be back as the Bobcats get a clipping call at the 40, so this will be brought back. It looked good.
It was good, but just another mistake that hurts the Bobcats. My goodness, you can't take points off the board. You have to use your head in this football game, and the Bobcats made a big play, and 2 penalties have hurt them.
You're right. The Bobcats making a lot of errors here that are, you know, can cost them a game. And it'll be brought back as the penalty. There's one way back on the 15-yard line. The Bobcats had 3 penalty flags on that one punt return of Edwards.
The poise of these Bobcats,
kickoff return.
The poise on this Bobcat team just not impressive at all tonight, and they're just continue to make things. In fact, the mistakes led to this Prescott comeback, and we just take a great play off the scoreboard by some penalties. So certainly with the ball placed on the, let's see, the 7-8 yard line, Prescott holds and ends up a great field position. So Bobcats not playing with a good head on their shoulders.
With 8:41 left in the ball game, the Curly Wolves giving the Bobcats every bit of this game. 28-21 Cats lead, but they're deep in their own territory. 1st and 10. Bright goes wide right. Handoff to Edwards, and he is smothered there by the Curly Wolves. And again, that was Ryan Ellis on the tackle.
And probably a little bit winded after that long return there. Picked up a couple of yards as the Prescott defense smothered him, and the Bobcats in trouble here deep in their own territory with 8:21 left in the football game.
2nd down and 9 for the Bobcats. 28-21 Cats lead here at Hammond Stadium. You can say the momentum definitely has changed as the Curly Wolves have taken it to the Cats here in this 2nd half. Bright to the right side. Unbalanced line left. And there's a flag on the play before the snap.
You're going to have a penalty against the Bobcats, a motion penalty, as several flags thrown there, going to move the Bobcats even deeper. And, you know, Randy, a turnover here could just be so devastating to the Bobcats, but they've got to strap their headgear on, come up with something. They're playing against an inspired Prescott defense right now, and this is kind of a gut check for these Bobcats.
Yeah, the Bobcats don't need to let bad things get them out of a football game. That happened last week at Warren. They let a couple bad things really control the game for them. Now a handoff again to Edwards. Edwards got good running room, breaks through. A saving tackle there by the Curly Wolves, and that was Al Johnston.
Well, the Bobcats passed that gut check there as a great job of blocking there by your senior Rusty Beck, Ryan Walker, and Corey Golston over there. Opened a big hole for Steve Edwards, and able to get a little breathing room there and put the ball out on about the 26-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Bobcats. 7:25 clock running left in this ball game. Cats lead by 7. Bright to the right side. Bobcats illegal procedure, and it'll be 5 yards against the Cats again, and that's all too familiar here tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know what's causing that because it's happened so many. I don't know whether we can put the blame on the line or whether we can put the blame on the cadence of Courtney, but it's just happening and shouldn't be happening this late in a football game, especially with both teams having a game under their belt. So again, makes their task a little bit harder, setting the Bobcats back 5 yards.
First and 15, Cats at their own 21-yard line. 7:09 left in the game. Clock running, and that's to the Bobcats' benefit here. As the Bobcats, D. Bright goes to the right side. Ramsey, the tight end, on that unbalanced right side. Handoff again to Edwards. Edwards trying to break loose, but he's just pulled down by Wicker.
Well, that's Billy Roberts there. I think Steve Edwards taking a little break, but nice play there by the Prescott defense. Brings up a second and about 13 for the Bobcats.
Second down for the Cats. Brett Wicker on the tackle.
So you see, and of course everybody knows it, how crucial those little 5-yard penalties are, where we could have 2nd and 8. We're faced with 2nd and 13 now, so those little 5-yard penalties can sure come back to haunt a football team.
6:20 clock running left in the game. Muldrew goes to wide left now for the Cats. Bright comes to the near side. Roberts is the tailback. Sarles the fullback. Pitch to Roberts. Roberts cuts back against the grain. Gain of about 3 up near the 27-yard line. Bring up a 3rd down and about 9.
Yeah, nice play there by Wicker, and the Bobcats now will be faced with a critical 3rd down play with 5:50 left in the football game.
The Prescott fans get up on their feet to lead their defense on here on 3rd down and 9. The Bobcat fans supporting their offense. A reverse to Muldrew. Cuts through. He's got the 1st down barely as he's hit by Van Hook, but falls forward. It's according to where the referee marks it.
Well, we're not, the mark right now is just extremely close, but I think Corey could have used his speed there. That's one of the few times that he probably could have made a better decision, but it's going to be a nip and tuck measurement here, no question about it, and Coach Kell will have a awful important decision to make here if the Bobcats come up short. So really hard to tell, but we'll have a look as Kevin zeroes in on that chain, and the Bobcats pick up the 1st down.
Well, look, they got it by a lot more than I thought they did. And again, you're right, Corey tried to go back in when I think he could have gone outside and gone to the sidelines and made that 1st down. But again, a good run, good call on the reverse, not expected. First time that's been called tonight. Muldrew and Bright go to the right side, to the near side on 1st and 10 Cats at their own 36-yard line. Again, the Bobcat band, you can hear in the background. 1st and 10 Cats. Pitch to Edwards along the left side. Edwards knocked out of bounds. Not after a 1st down for the Cats as Flannery knocks him out of bounds.
You know, it seems the Bobcats kind of got away. Steve Edwards has really had an outstanding night running the football, and I guess, you know, the mistakes kind of came in when we went up 28-7 there, but doing a real good job of controlling the football right now with their ground game.
Yeah, they really have. They kind of gotten back together. They kind of lost a little bit of the chemistry they had, and they've gotten back together. And I tell you what, that loss of chemistry was due in a lot of part to what Prescott was doing to them. Muldrew goes to the right side, Bright to the left. Courtney Cole keeps it and will be dropped there by Jordan for no gain, a loss of a yard.
Nice play there by Jordan, a lost yardage of a couple of yards there. Clock winds down, 4:57 left in the game, and the Bobcats be faced with a 2nd and 12, and this ball game far from being over, Randy.
Bobcats taking their time in the huddle as that clock melts down. Bobcats lead by 7, 28-21. Muldrew goes wide left. Bright slot left. Ramsey's your tight end. Sarles and Edwards the running back. Pitch to Edwards, and just a slow developing play. Edwards gets back to the line of scrimmage. He's hit hard by Ellis there. Brings up 3rd down.
Boy, if we had a play, the Prescott defense leaving Gray Ramsey wide open, no coverage at all, and if we could pick up something there, a safe pass, sure have something open, but Bobcats 3rd and 12, 4:05, and again, crucial play here on 3rd down for the Bobcats.
Muldrew goes wide left. Bright comes to the near side. Cole looks over the defense. Dropping back, hits Muldrew, just can't get it. It was well-designed play, and if it had gone, Muldrew may have been all the way, but just couldn't catch the ball. Brings up 4th down. Bobcats will punt away with 3:45 left in this game.
Play was there. Courtney just led Corey a little too much, and nice play to call, but Prescott, as we mentioned, will get the football back, and one last try to come into Hammond Stadium and get away from these Bobcats with a win.
Bobcats get their punting unit out quickly before Prescott can get their defense out, and Patton gets a short punt, but he gets a good roll for the Bobcats down to the 20-yard line, and it's dead in there by Dietrich Pace with 3:37 left. The Curly Wolves 79 yards away from tying this game.
Well, undoubtedly, you're going to see the Prescott passing attack in all its glory here in the last 3:37. Expect to see some rolling away from pressure there by Al Johnson. I certainly would expect that little kind of delay over the middle there by Moore or Fountain, and so Prescott has a lot of tricks up their sleeve with their passing game, and it's going to go right down to the wire just as we predicted, Randy.
Al Johnston runs out on the field. The senior quarterbacks had an outstanding night tonight for the Curly Wolves. Fountain goes wide right. Flory slot right. Handoff to Yates, the fullback. He keeps running. Boy, I tell you, hard run by Yates near the 30, across the 30. A gain of about 8.
Yeah, the big fullback just refused to go down there and getting up a little slowly, but he will get up. I can guarantee you that. And so Prescott picks up 8 yards on their first play. 3:17 left in the football game.
Again, Nick Edwards is down for the Cats with cramps. And Armstrong, number 70, comes in for the Cats for J.D. Sampson. 3:11 left in this game. Cats lead the Curly Wolves 28-21.
You know, Randy, from a Bobcat fan standpoint, like I am, of course, you know, you're biting your nails. For a Prescott fan standpoint, you're biting your nails. But just from a fan standpoint, what a wonderful game to see. Exciting, hard, well played on all fronts, and going right down to the wire here tonight at Hammond Stadium.
2nd down and 2 for the Curly Wolves. Johnston drops back. Looking across the field, has Fountain, just overthrows him. Brings up 3rd down, but it's 3rd and 2. Good time to throw that pass.
Exactly right about that, and I know Al wished he had that pass back because it did sail a little bit on him. Fountain worked his way open, and Prescott, as you mentioned, will have the 3rd and 2 here. Still 3:01 left in this football game.
A lot of time for the Curly Wolves offense. Jacob Jones gets the signals for the Bobcat defense. Curly Wolves come out. Fountain to the left. Morrow to the right side. Dropping back is Johnston on 3rd and 2. Across the middle, Jacob Jones intercepted at 35. Jones may go in from 35 yards out. Touchdown on a Jacob Jones interception with 2:49 left in this ball game. The Bobcats have scored to take a 2-touchdown lead.
Good job, Jacob Jones. Just an outstanding play. He's had a whale of a game tonight, and so that little play there by the heady linebacker of the Bobcats puts the Cats up by 2 touchdowns, but not after a valiant fight by these Prescott Curly Wolves, and still 2:48 remaining in the football game.
The Bobcat defense has scored 2 touchdowns on 2 interceptions. Gray Ramsey 20 yards out, and then Jacob Jones from 35 yards out. Colin Pilkington to try the point after. Snaps up. Markham holds. Kicks up good.
Hello, folks.
for the Bobcats, and so, as we mentioned, still 2:42. Prescott can strike quickly, and so this ball game's certainly not over, and what an entertaining ball game it's been to see these Hope Bobcats and Prescott. There have been some mistakes, certainly on both sides, but a hard-fought contest.
Well, the Curly Wolves have fought hard in AAA the last 2 weeks, and they'll go to Gurdon next week, a Class A team, and I tell you, Curly Wolves going to be tough in their conference. Van Hook runs, and the pace won't let him get away. Also on the tackle, Michael Christian and J.D. Sampson.
I want to say a little bit about Jacob Jones. He's had a fine football game there tonight. He's almost had a couple of interceptions and has made a lot of tackles there. And his veteran leadership and kind of his innate his instincts on the football field have certainly shown through for the Bobcats tonight. 2nd down and 7 for the Curly Wolves. 2:11 clock running left in this ball game. And Yates gets it and is just knocked back. And I'll tell you, Prescott fans, and there you see Jacob Jones again making a big play, Randy, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the Prescott fans not used to being 0-2 on the year, but they don't need to get down on these guys. They're gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna be right there fighting where they've always been every year, year in and year out. They got some outstanding players, and what impresses me most is they don't get down in a game. They believed that they could win this game the whole way. Johnston with 1:29 left, 3rd and 7. Dropping back, Fountain across the middle. Alex Flanori just tips it and brings up 4th down.
Good job by Alex Flanori there covering his zone, and was able to get a hand up, bring up a 4th and about 7 for the Curly Wolves.
And so we'll see if the Curly Wolves will punt or go for it here on 4th down. And Mike Fountain looks like he's in punting position. Corey Muldrew will field the punt. 1:21 left in the game.
Well, you'd have to think that they're not going to punt, but for all purposes, they're in punt formation, and we'll just watch and see.
And Fountain will punt it. Just a high punt, doesn't go very far. Somebody needs to get out of the way of it, and it'll be in Curly Wolf territory, fielded at about the 48-yard line, and there's a flag back at the punt where Fountain and Jeff High say a few words, and neither coaching staff wants to see that.
No, there's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty on that one for sure, and so we'll wait and see what happens there. But Prescott apparently going to leave tonight with a 35-21 loss, but my goodness, did they put forth an effort, and just the Bobcats made some plays here at the end of the football game, but it was a game that kind of went in flows, you know, 28-7 at one time. It looks like the Bobcats going to get to play some reserves, and all of a sudden 28-21. Curly Wolves took advantage of some Bobcat mistakes and just some poor play by the Bobcats, but the Curly Wolves turned all those mistakes into points and tightened this football game up. And then we have a big play by the junior linebacker Jacob Jones. I almost call him Jared, but Jacob Jones made a play that you know, a good linebacker is supposed to make at a crucial moment in a football game, and turn it into points. So the defense, I think, you know, really played well tonight, Randy. I think the mistakes, probably the offense kind of, you know, grinded itself to a halt there, and the defense played a lot this second half and really came up and did their job in a fine way here to close out this ball game.
Well, the Bobcats will have it in Curly Wolf territory with 1:11 clock stop there as the Bobcats come up the line of scrimmage. They're just going to take a knee here as they have their knee offense in gear. And that's what Courtney Cole does, and he'll let the clock run down with 1:07 left. Clock running in this ball game. Bobcats will win 35-21, and it's been 4 years since the Cats have won in this series. They tied 2 years ago here at Hammond Stadium. Last year, Prescott soundly beat the Cats over at Prescott, so Bobcats will enjoy this victory.
Well, you know, as we always say, you just can never really know what to expect in this series. Just an exciting game here tonight. The fans certainly got their money's worth, and so the Bobcats will get out of here with a 35-21 victory. But you know, it's a game that's always fun. It's fun to anticipate the crowd coming over, the emotion involved with the game, and there were a lot of good things on the field tonight. I know the coaches will find some things they didn't like so well, but love the way both these teams competed tonight.
So with 10 seconds left, the Bobcats don't have to call another play, as the play clock has 9 seconds, and they'll just let the time run out.
Prescott players, you made such a great comeback. Obviously, you never thought you were out of this football game.
We just try to fight back. You know, we've played 2 tough teams on the road so far this year, and we just don't ever want to give up. I guess that's just what Curleyville football is all about. You know, we want to fight to the finish and just do our best the whole game.
Yeah, I think Courtney Cole would tell us that same thing because he competed against you all night. But my congratulations to you, Al, and we look forward to watching you guys and wish the Prescott Curlywolves great success the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Courtney Cole, the senior Bobcat quarterback, you did an outstanding job tonight, Courtney. You had Prescott down 28-7, and then they come back like a house of fire, and you hold on. A great interception by Jacob Jones at the end. Were you pleased with the offense tonight?
Well, it wasn't as good as the one game passing-wise, but running we did a better job. The line blocked the run a lot better. That's what we've been working on a lot in practice. And defensively, we've been needing this game. I mean, we need defense to come out there and play this type of game and take control like this. I mean, the Arkansas high scrimmage game, you know, they didn't look as strong as what they did tonight. I mean, we need this defensively.
Well, you need a game like this, great competition, great crowds here, and everybody was into it. Bobcats hold on to beat the Curlywolves. Next week, the Nashville Scrappers up in Nashville. Ought to be a great game.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're looking forward to it on KTSS, Channel 55. We'll be there with all the action of the Hope Bobcats and Nashville Scrappers.